I'm sure there are more elegant ways of doing it, Jane.
Not quite done yet. Give them another minute or two. So here's how we make the satay sauce. In a saucepan, I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons, roughly, of peanut butter. Smooth is best, but you can use crunchy if you don't have anything else. Right, so that's that in the pan. I'm going to add a little bit of water from the noodles just to save time. But I always think a little bit of grated ginger goes well in anything like this. Put that in there. A little bit of agave syrup. You don't need a lot of this, probably about a teaspoon. I just put a little tiny squirt in there, but about a teaspoon will be enough.
Of course, if you're not middle class, you could use sugar.
You could also add fresh chilli if you have the time, but I'm going to cheat and I'm going to use some hot pepper sauce, a bit like Tabasco, but in a different sort of bottle. And I'm going to add a little bit more hot water, and I'm actually going to put the heat on this now and just warm it through very gently. If you wanted to, you could add a little bit of crushed garlic, whatever you like really. It's kind of lots of nice things you can add, but this is a really simple, quick version of it. If it's too thick, because it does thicken up a lot when you put the heat on it, just add a little bit more hot water. So I'm going to put that to the side now because that's more or less ready, and that's going to go on at the end. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do now is make the stir fry. Okay, I'm going to talk about tofu now because some of you may have already used it, some of you have maybe had bad experiences with it, but there's lots of different types available. There's the plain, ordinary white stuff that's firm, that's usually made by Cauldron, and you can fry that up yourself, but we're not going to use that one today for reasons of time. What we are going to use is another Cauldron product, which is a tofu pieces. The packet looks like this, the tofu chunks look like that, and they're ready fried and seasoned for you, so they're really easy to use and they're very easily available. The other thing that you might want to use is smoked tofu, which again is getting quite widely available in places like Waitrose as well as health food shops, and that's really good. I'm just going to chop that up and show you what it looks like.
It's a Marmite thing. You either love it or hate it. I won't tell you how Jenny Eclair described it.
Now this one's got it's got soy sauce, it's marinated, it's got sesame seeds and almonds and all sorts of nice things, and it's very firm, as you can see. And it chops up into little slices. You can even eat it cold with a salad, but we're going to use a little bit of that plus this, just to get some different flavours in there today. But normally, you'd only use one type of tofu. Use half a pepper in this recipe for the stir-fry section. I'm going to cut it in very, very small, thin slivers, so they cook quick. And then in this wok thing here, I'm going to heat up a little bit of oil.
What on earth did we do before wok things?
And I'm going to fry the red pepper and some bean sprouts, which I've already washed, and some mange too, or sugar snap peas, whichever you like. Now, this isn't a rigid list of vegetables. You could use almost anything that cooked more or less at the same time. I'm going to start off with the red pepper because that probably takes the longest. Then I'll add the mange too, and then finally I'll add the bean sprouts and the tofu. There's lots of other things you could use as well, depending on what you've got in the fridge and what you like and what's in season. Add the mange too.
Well, that all looks jolly healthy.
Okay, so you only need to cook these about 3 or 4 minutes because you just want them to be slightly cooked but still with a little bit of a bite to them to keep their freshness, and they're really nice like that. And lastly, I'm going to add the bean sprouts, and that's the tofu gone in now as well. You've got a really nice colourful stir fry here, and they don't take long to cook at all. You really are heating those through. I'm going to put that aside for now. And we're going to make the last bit of the dish, which is the sesame kale. I'm using sesame oil here for the sesame kale for obvious reasons. It's got a lovely nutty flavour, it's full of nutrients, and it goes particularly well with Asian cooking. And I'm going to add some sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are amazing. Not only do they taste really good, they're a really good source of things like calcium and protein.
Sesame, the wonder seed.
And I'm also going to add some kale, obviously, because it's sesame kale. I'm going to cook the kale in with those now. And And that's just going to cook in for a minute or two until the kale's tender. Just keep stirring it so that the sesame seeds don't stick and burn. So I'm going to add a little drizzle of soy sauce now. If you wanted to, you could also add some crushed garlic and cook that in. It's up to you.
That's very kind of you, Jane.
And now I'm going to put the stir fry back on the heat. I'm going to add the noodles into the stir fry.
Very delicately done, Jane.
And I'm going to stir everything together, try and integrate it as well as possible. And then I'm going to cook in the peanut butter sauce, which has gone cold now, but that doesn't matter because as soon as I put it into the heat, it'll start to melt. And as you see, I've just added a little bit more water just to make sure that it all melts together nicely. And a wee drizzle of soy sauce again. And it's ready to go. I'm just going to serve this up in a minute with the sesame kale on the top for a garnish.
Well, I have to say, Jane, that looks pretty good to me. What do you think?